I'm Corbett Wall with USDA Market News, here with your weekly feeder and stocker cattle market summary for the week ending July the 18th, where for the first week in now full 3 months, yearling feeder cattle sold weak to $5 lower, steer and heifer calves sold $5 to $10 lower. There was light runs in most of the auction markets this week as most of the sellers expected lower prices, and many of them decided not to ship their cattle. After last week's sharply lower board, just most everybody knew that the cash price was going to be lower this week. It didn't show up so much last week, partly because the holidays were just ending, but the board really showed the market was going to be a lot lower this week, and but this week it came in and showed some footing. Be down one day and back up the other, and kind of showed that we're not going to completely fall off the pace that we're on right now. But the overwhelming majority of the summer and fall delivery yearling feeder cattle, and especially those for current delivery, have already been sold. Many of the better strings of fall delivery calves have already been sold, with a lot of big videos having already went on, and a high percentage of sales and very few passed out cattle in those videos. But most of your fundamentalists think that we're going to see record prices return again, and we're just seeing a little correction here or a little hiccup right now. It's just that all the fundamental factors are still in favor of higher cattle. We've got sharply lower grains coming in, and kind of like the cattle were down last week, the grains propped up a little this week, but most everybody thinks that your corn market anyway has said goodbye to $4 bushel corn. Most everywhere is down in the threes, and then a lot of people expect by harvest time to be in the low $3 range. But and packers really tipped their hand this week to how short bought and hungry for cattle they are. They come out earlier in the week on a Wednesday and bought cattle only slightly lower, even though the board had been down so hard. But we're paying $155 to $157.50 live for cattle this week on a Wednesday, and the higher end of that range, basically $1 premium, was for a 2-week delivery instead of bringing them here in the next 7 to 10 days. But that is a strong signal, especially on a down market, when the packers are willing to pay more for out front delivery cattle. And at the same time, the cash market's trading at a several dollar premium to the board, which we're going to be getting into here as soon as we get into August. So that's a strong signal that we're not through with higher prices, and that these fed cattle could turn around and start creeping back up, and probably the feeder cattle to follow too. But after this happened on a Wednesday, the board was real strong on Thursday, having sharp gains, and and over $2 there. But we didn't see any big bell ringing prices this week like we've seen the last several weeks, which just raised everybody's eyebrows. But Western video market did have an awful good sale this week, early in the week, a 3-day video, 95,000 head. Over 70% of those cattle come from areas west of the Rockies, so that's a true Western video. Is based out of Reno, Nevada there, but still some pretty high prices in there. They had one load of steer calves. There'll be weaned steer calves by the time they deliver out of Idaho, 430 pounds for December delivery, bring $367.50. And if that doesn't perk anybody up, then they've gotten numb to these higher prices. But all these strong signals still spell for a strong cattle market at all levels. Year-to-date beef cow slaughter through the first 6 months of 2014 is down 15% from last year. It's down 17% from the average of the previous 5 years, which is a strong signal right there. And this boneless beef market and cow and bull market is really trying to lure these cattle, these old cows and bulls, out of the pastures. It's not anything in the sale barns to see these high dress and better meaty type cows to bring up to $1.30, and that's on the hoof. And a lot of these heavy muscled big lean bulls bring it up to and over $1.50 on the hoof, and those are awful strong prices right there. Your dressed pork market cutouts had an all-time record high this week, so the competitors are at a high price too. So it's just not a lot of reason for the cattle market and beef markets to fall out of bed anytime soon. Regional weighted averages through Thursday this week in the north central states, an 8-weight steer cost you $212.86 compared to $215.55 last week and $147.76 a year ago. Down in the south central states, a 7-weight steer cost you $212.18 compared to $217.58 last week and $145.77 a year ago. And down in the southeast, a 5-weight steer cost you $229.71 compared to $236.47 last week and $144.55 a year ago. That wraps up your National Feeder and Stocker Cattle Market Summary for this week. Check out our website for more market information at marketnews.usda.gov. And from the Regional Market News Office in St. Joe, Missouri, we'll talk to you next week.